Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Phil's Supra, where the 1JZ Supra is already... Alright, so the plan for today is that we're going to try to fix the oil lines for the turbo. What was happening is they're literally just dumping oil everywhere. As you can see, you saw it dripping pretty badly, or at least heard me tell you it was dripping. So I can't scooch too close at the moment because the oil is still on the ground. I haven't wiped it all up, but let's see if I can sneak you in there. So you see that stainless hose that's right in the middle of the screen is kind of in between those lines leading to something else. That is where it's leaking from. I haven't tightened up all the way, so I'm not entirely sure why it's leaking. I don't know if I'm missing a fitting or something, but I'm going to go ahead and look around and try to figure out why that's just not tightening up and not staying closed. So that's the plan of attack for today. I'm going to try to just figure that out, because if I can figure that out, then the engine... then the engine will be not completely done, but like to the point where I could actually legitimately start like just cleaning everything up, sorting everything out, organizing, cleaning up the mess of the wiring, and just going at it. So that's the task for today. I'm gonna go ahead and try to tackle that. Once again, I'm really sorry that I can't film a lot of this just because it's such an awkward angle. And I really can't show you. I can barely even fit one hand in there. It took me last time when I was trying to work on it, it took me an hour and a half just to tighten 2 bolts. So it's just a super awkward angle, and yeah, I'm sorry I can't show you, but I promise once I get it done, I'll explain it as best I can. Alright, it's about, I gotta figure out another word to say other than I'll write every time I pick up the camera. Anyway, it's about 15 minutes later, and what I did is, I don't know what happened when I first put it in. I don't know if I just got excited and just was happy that I got it on an awkward angle, but straight up, none of the bolts were tightened. Like, I'm pretty sure all that I did was just get it on, probably, because it took forever to get on. I probably just was like, I'm just going to take a break after this, and then just forgot to come back and tighten anything up. Anyway, the 2 bolts going up top in between the hot and cold side of the turbo, that wasn't even tightened all the way. So I went in, tightened those up, and I'm just going to turn the key and hope it starts again. But of course, got to get the battery from the Gallant. This is the most annoying thing I hate about this car, is it really only works with that one battery. I do have another battery for the Gallant. Came out of that one, but it just wouldn't hold its charge last time, and it died in the driveway here or whatever. So maybe if I threw it on a charger, we'll see. But yeah, time to get that battery and throw it in. The plan now is I'm going to go ahead and give it a start. I got the battery in, it's all set up, and I got my keys. So I'm going to set you guys down here on the ground so you can kind of keep a peek on the oil as we turn it on, and hopefully we're not dropping too much. Let me grab a bucket really quick to set down under there too. There we go. Good sign. No leaks. No leaks. We check under there again. Nothing. Nothing. I think I saw one drop, but I'm just guessing that was old oil that was there. That's awesome. That's awesome. Heck yes. High five. Alright, so next up on the list I want to tackle the air intake. So I'm hoping that the looping is just that the MAF isn't connected. There's a wire that I need to connect. That is, I believe it's this black one here on the end. It's one of the end ones. I'm pretty sure it's this one. I'll have to double check it. I just got to trace it back and then connect it in, or just give it some power, because that's the power wire that gives them after readings. Anyway, I said anyways again. Yikes, this is getting bad. So one of the things that I messed up on also was that this intake I have was made for S13. I didn't see a Mark III Supra one when I went on the site. And then of course I found one later after I bought it, so that's a bit upsetting, but I have this pipe here, and the thing is I can fit it, I think, up here if I just shorten this silicone joiner up. So let me pull this off and I'll see if I can show you what I mean. So here's the idea that I have for it. So it lines up pretty closely to this line up. It's like almost flush. I just have to scoot it back and put the joiner on it. But with the silicone joiner, then what I'd do is I'd cut it right on this crease, use one half of it to connect this, and then with this end right here, I can't move the mass airflow sensor because it's right in the way, but mass airflow sensor is about as long as like a little rock on sign, so about right there. What I'd want to do is probably just cut off this little end here and then use the other half of this to connect this end of the mass airflow sensor to this pipe, and then make a little shielding around here, not temporarily, but enough to keep it in its own little air box, not get too hot, and then I'll get some actual heat shielding later. But that's kind of the plan that I have for this. I have a couple issues. First off, I don't have a bandsaw, excuse me. I really wish I did, or we do, but the blade broke and we haven't got a new one, so there's that issue right here. So for that, I'd want to use it to cut this, just to give it a nice snip in half. That's really the biggest issue we have right now, and then I think that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys down for just a second. Let me figure this out finally, and then we'll come back. So here's the idea so I've ran into a small problem. The problem being that this is the wrong airflow sensor. So it plugs in, but this is for a JZX100, not a JZX110, which is what I have engine wise. But I'm gonna try to make this work anyway. The only difficulty is that I don't have any hose that fits over this side. Nothing I have is this big. So I'm gonna scour around, see what I can find, and even if we have to mock something up, for now we'll do that, but I'm just gonna try to figure out something for this. Alright, so on the topic of the airflow meter, well, it just turns out this is kind of a bust. So this isn't really gonna work. It maybe will be able to work, but I just have no fittings for it. So what's gonna happen is I have a guy who's gonna hook me up with another airflow sensor for this car specifically, or not the Supra specifically, but the engine, you know what I mean. Anyway, he's gonna get me that, and he's gonna make an aluminum housing for it, so everything will be all set up perfectly. I probably won't get here for another couple weeks or so, I think he said, because he has to custom make the housing. It's no big deal, so there's still plenty of stuff to do, but it's a nice day out in the middle of winter, and so I'm gonna take this opportunity to clean those two cars, and then today I think will be a fluids day. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to get every fluid in the car. Actually, not brake fluid. Actually, sorry, not power steering fluid. But I'd love to get the fluids for the brakes, gearbox oil, engine oil, at least those three, and then we'll go from there. So if I can get those, then also theoretically I could try seeing if I could move the car for the first time. So we'll see what happens, but let's start just getting those two cars cleaned. Alright, got these cars all cleaned up. Cleaned up as in they're just good enough. Live down the gravel driveway. It really doesn't matter too much because they're going to get dirty in 2 seconds anyway. So here's what we want to do for this car today, for the Supra at least. As I said, we're going to do some fluid, so I'm going to go ahead by start with the brake fluid because I have these nice new stainless lines attached, but I haven't put in any fluid yet, and I need to drain the old one and put the new one in. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find myself a hose that'll fit over the nipple for the brake caliper. And then I have an old bottle right here, an old bottle, and I'm going to go ahead and then use that to go ahead and just pump the brakes myself because I have no one else to help me right now. So let's go ahead and get the tube and everything all set up, and then I'll catch up with you guys. Well, I couldn't find a stupid hose to fill it with. I mean, I have plenty of hoses, but none of them are clear, so I need to get one of those to check the fluid level. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and just fill up the transmission with some gearbox oil. I don't have the hose, but I can just loosen up the fill plug and then fill it up through the shifter. I'll just pull that out. Not a huge deal, and anyway, I kind of want to try seeing if I can get that shift knob threaded on anyway. So that's the plan for up. What's next to do is, yeah, go ahead and pull that shifter off and then fill it with fluid. I got the fill plug all taken out and with a bucket set up underneath just in case, or once it does start filling up, you'll see that dripping out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the fluid and hop in the other side of the car and start filling it up through the gearbox. Alright, so gearbox oil is all done. I checked it and it doesn't quite leak, but I reached my finger in and I could literally just feel it. So it's pretty much perfectly right at that line, which will be good enough. So I'm just going to let the rest of the bottle, it's pretty much empty, but just letting whatever's left drain in, and then should be good. I'm going to go ahead and close up the fill plug, get that all done, and then we'll keep looking for the hose to see if we can do brakes. I have looked all over the place and I cannot find that hose. So I think what we're going to do next is just going to try to see if the clutch and flywheel and everything actually works. So what I'm going to do, well, I think I know the flywheel already works because it turns the engine. So hey, one step done. But I'm going to go ahead and reattach everything and then try to start the car, or I will start the car because it runs, and then go ahead and set up the camera on the back wheels and just see if we actually have movement going on there. So that's the plan for next. So of course that means taking the battery out of the glunt, and I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead to actually trying to move the wheels. Nice, huh? Yeah, I was just checking to see if the clutch was hooked up. Alright, so it works, the gears work. As you saw, yeah, I just went first and second gear. It spins, that's awesome. I'm glad the clutch engages. Yeah, it's smoking up like crazy though in here. I'm gonna go play basketball for like 10 or 20 minutes just to let it finish clearing out. And although I don't have the brakes working, I think I'm gonna throw on the wheels and at least just see if I can pull this out and turn it around. I do have the handbrake, and I'm not going to be going that far anyway, because holy cow, this is bad, and I got to stop. It's just been every time I start it, turn it off, and then go play basketball for however long, and then come back. I am a little concerned because it smells a little oily, but I'm hoping that it's just everything's getting settled back in again. So I'm just going to still go ahead and hang out a bit, and then I'll catch you guys back up, and we'll probably clean everything off, throw the wheels on, and turn it around. Alright, for the most part it's aired out, so up next I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything up. Right now I'm going to move everything out of the way, everything from under the car, and then run everything off the front, not the roof as well, close the trunk, and then get the wheels on and go ahead and turn the car out and turn it around. So will be a first drive relying solely on the handbrake, hoping that works, and then after that we'll see from there. I got the wheels on, they're not torqued down at all, they're just tightened enough, so all I'm doing is just driving around, turning around, and that's it. I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to top it up with engine oil. I want to do that because otherwise I'm going to forget. And then that also needs one more thing. I do need to bolt down the drain, not the drain plug, sorry, the dipstick. It's just, it's little it fell off when I first tried to do it, or to take the oil out like way long ago, so I put a new gasket on it, so it's fine, but I just want to get it bolted down so that I'm not having to hold it down with two hands. Although if it's too difficult, I'm gonna just skip it and put oil in it and then run it because I just want to drive it so badly. Anyway, I'm gonna go do that and then catch you guys back up. About 30 minutes later, which is a pain and a half, car's on the ground. It's looking good, and it's time to pull it out for the first time. So yeah, just gonna sit you guys down and we'll pull it out, turn it around, and hope for the best. I'm pretty excited, though absolutely exhausted because, oh man, I gotta figure out a better way to get this car up and down off jack stands because it's rough. So yeah, let's pull her out. How cool is that? Oh man, that's awesome. Bad news to start off, might as well just get it out of the way. It's stuck in limp mode, so it's not going to go above 2,000 RPM. Something to do with the throttle, electronic throttles being cut off. So I'll address the problem later. I'm not entirely sure how to fix it, which is why I'm going to address it later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a bit, and then probably shoot some pictures because it's been forever since I've shot any pictures outside of the garage. So I shall do that. So yep, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. I know you guys aren't gonna like the way I do it, because it's not gonna be the right way, but this is the way I'm doing it, and you can't stop me. Haha. Alright, it's all cleaned up, and after all that, I realized I had the car facing the wrong way. So I was gonna have it head in so the exhaust fumes came out, and I literally just didn't even turn it around. So round two, let's actually turn it around this time. Alright, so I'm ending it here. It's been a good day. First time driving the car in pretty much 8 months. It was mid-June when I last drove it, so 7.5, 8 months. It's been a minute. Felt good. It felt really good. It sucks that the car's in limp mode. Got to deal with that. There's another problem. Valve stem seals are pretty shot, but I'll probably just run with it as is for a while. I know I should fix it, but I'll tackle that later. Anyway, that's good. It feels good. It feels really good. As for what's next, I don't know. I should probably just start cleaning up the car a bit. I think I should look into getting a more solid mount for everything, like power steering, and I need to do brake fluid too. I need to find a hose or go buy one. I'll swing down by the hardware store tomorrow. Anyway, that's the plan, I guess. We'll figure it out. You'll catch it all as it comes. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget, do the usual. Just like, comment, subscribe, leave your hate, and comment, guys. Bye.